Think back to the early 2010s. Tech giants promised us a frictionless future where flying robots would drop packages right into our backyards within 30 minutes. The reality turned out to be a lot messier. Companies ran headfirst into a wall of complex airspace regulations, high-profile test crashes, and severe organizational bottlenecks. People naturally stopped taking it seriously. The idea of drone delivery was largely written off as an expensive public relations stunt that quietly disappeared from the headlines. This ambition to automate the last mile hit a dead end, mostly because the original Silicon Valley pioneers simply couldn't figure out how to make the physics and the paperwork align. But while the tech companies stalled out, a traditional retail giant was quietly solving the logistics problem and taking over the skies. This chart shows commercial drone flight volumes. While early corporate pilots barely register, Walmart has surpassed 1 million completed deliveries. The pace is accelerating. A staggering 40% of that million flight volume happened in just the first quarter of 2027. Walmart's operation now functions as a standard commercial utility, moving products across 5 major metropolitan regions every day. Instead of trying to build complex aviation hardware from scratch, Walmart took a different route. They outsourced the aircraft, partnering directly with specialized operators like Wing and Zipline. This allowed them to turn their existing store locations into local flight hubs. They're currently launching from 66 stores across 4 states, with Texas alone accounting for over 200,000 of those flights. This image shows exactly why this works. The sprawling layout of American suburbs offers plenty of open, private yards and driveways, creating safe, pre-built landing zones for package drops. They bypassed the hardest part of the equation. By weaponizing the massive brick-and-mortar footprint they already owned, they had a ready-made delivery network waiting to be activated. In the beginning, customers treated this like a novelty. People would place an order for a single bunch of bananas or a bag of chips purely as a party trick, just to step outside and watch a robot fly over their house. But as the initial spectacle wore off, consumer behavior shifted. Customers realized the aircraft were actually showing up on time, and they began trusting the system for urgent needs. That meant parents realizing they could get printer ink delivered right before a school project was due, or someone stuck at home with a fever ordering cold medicine without having to get behind the wheel of a car. The timeline comparison here is stark. While typical ground logistics aim for a 2-hour delivery window, Walmart's drone network averages 23 minutes. Their current record sits at an astonishing 4 minutes and 44 seconds from order to drop-off. Technological adoption is complete once the spectacle fades, leaving behind a mundane, invisible routine. But embedding an active aviation network into residential areas does not happen without friction. As flight volumes increased, residents began pushing back against the constant noise. Having multiple high-pitched rotors buzzing overhead simultaneously quickly became a serious quality-of-life issue for people living near the hubs. Then came the privacy concerns. To navigate safely, these machines use an array of onboard cameras and sensors, leaving citizens uneasy about active surveillance devices constantly passing over their fenced-in properties. In some cases, this frustration escalated from noise complaints to physical retaliation. Frustrated residents have literally shot Walmart delivery drones right out of the sky. The hardest barrier to scaling a nationwide delivery grid isn't extending battery life or optimizing flight paths. It is overcoming the psychological and physical resistance of the neighborhoods they operate in. Despite the pushback, the efficiency gains are undeniable. Delivering a single bottle of medicine by air uses a fraction of the energy and time required to send 2-ton delivery vans rolling slowly through neighborhood streets. We have crossed the threshold of adoption. Airborne fulfillment is now firmly embedded in the local supply chain as a permanent alternative. It shows us how major technological leaps actually happen. They rarely launch flawlessly from the stage of a Silicon Valley keynote. Instead, they arrive through quiet, persistent iteration by massive retail chains figuring out the daily logistics. 1 million packages have already fallen from the sky. The question now isn't whether drone delivery can work at scale, but rather how we learn to live with the constant hum above our rooftops.